I got to go to the Federal Reserve Board in Washington, D.C. and take a tour of their building. And I'm going to show you what it's like inside the Federal Reserve Board. Hi, my name's Craig and welcome to Market Power, where we are building a community of people interested in and excited about economics. And the preeminent economic institution in the United States is the Federal Reserve. This is basically the fourth branch of government, and there's a lot of interesting things going on there. It's kind of a controversial place in terms of, should we have a Federal Reserve? How much power should it have? How much oversight? All those things. You know, it's a really interesting institution, and I'll probably do more videos on the Fed in the future. But right now, I just want to show you what was inside the building, because I got to go inside for the first time and it was interesting. It was different than what I expected. Obviously, since this is a really important institution, they're going to have high security here. So the first thing I had to do was go through the security check, and I did not have a camera while I was doing that, clearly. But then as soon as you get through the security clearance, you go into this hall, and it's this long, nondescript hall. It's actually pretty unexciting, and that's because it is a floor or two below the main floor in the Federal Reserve. So we went through this hall, we got to the end, and we go up the elevator, and we come out into exactly what you would think the inside of the Federal Reserve looks like. Just these massive staircases in this, you know, very bank-like building, like an old bank, not like the bank branches today that are just like nice business buildings, but this is like, it feels like I'm walking into those big banks, like maybe in Harry Potter, or, you know, just a classic bank building. The main role of the Federal Reserve Board is to discuss monetary policy. And so at the top of these stairs is the boardroom that they discuss monetary policy in. And when we went up there, they were actually having a meeting and discussing it, so we weren't allowed to actually go inside the boardroom. But I did get this picture of this barrel of money right outside of it, which is apropos for the Federal Reserve. In fact, as I went around the building, I noticed that there was a lot of artwork centered on money, like international currency, using money to create a human, I think this is supposed to be, and like a tube of toothpaste with the toothpaste coming out of it. I thought these were clever uses of money in art. But my favorite part of this tour is just the fact that the building is named after Marriner Eccles. I live in Logan, Utah. I work for Utah State University, and just down the street from my office is the house where Marriner Eccles was born. It's very cool to me that this building is named after a guy who lived here in Logan, Utah. So what happened with him? Well, during the Great Depression, a lot of banks were failing, and he was a banker and his bank succeeded. So he was invited out to Washington, D.C. to talk about the success of his banks and why they were able to endure the Great Depression. As he gave those talks and as he got to know Roosevelt, he then was in a position to become the chairman of the Federal Reserve Board. And so he served there, and you know, I guess there's a little bit of a debate about how influential he was there. Some people, like Milton Friedman, think he was incredibly influential, and then other people think he played really a minor role relative to FDR. But regardless, it's amazing to me that this guy, Marriner Eccles, born in this year in a town that was this population, and he was able to achieve one of the most prominent positions in the entire United States. I find that inspiring to think about the small town guy who was able to go up and take on that big position, and I hope that it inspires you as well. The Federal Reserve likes to watch out for recession, so if you're interested in a video about that, go ahead and check this one up here. And if you want to know more about monetary policy and some of the competing ideas about monetary policy, check out this playlist on Libra and cryptocurrencies. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next time on Market Power.